The North American house hippo is found throughout Canada and the eastern United States.
Hello, 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 friends. Happy
The North American house hippo is found throughout
Happy
Canada and the eastern United States.
birthday. Look at how cute! The amazing Vapor has done it again. Yeah, isn't she cute? Hello, Hippo has a hat. She's got her little witch hat for October. Yeah, I love it so much. When Vapor first sent me the just the drawn model, I definitely cried. I am so not used to having friends being like, here's all of my... Oh, the dangle. I'm sorry.
The North American house
I can see the
hippo
dangle.
is found throughout Canada and the eastern United States.
My earrings sway back and forth. But yeah, I'm not used to having friends that are like, here, let me share all of my creative talents with you. And this lovely frame and background. Hey, Chief Diaz. The frame and the background are by Morgan LaFab, who is fab, as we know. This chat is heckin' tiny. Let's fix that, shall we? There we go. Now we can sort of see it. She is also amazing and very talented. We are super thankful for all of our creatives here because I can chat, I can talk, I can research into politics, but that's about it. Don't ask me to do art. Yes, if you have emote ideas, send them to Morgan. Thanks, Ninja. This is all Vapor. If you guys want a model or something similar, you can send her a message in the Discord. There she is. I believe it's the same name in the Discord as well. She's amazing. We love her. We love our Vapor. There we go. Yeah, if you guys have emote ideas from more hippo ones, or the hippo doing something, or more hippos. Yeah, I think we need more hippos. I agree. Ooh, that's a cute one. A little dancy cat. Yeah, I love that one. Yes. The answer is yes. Moz, does someone mind poking on YouTube and just... Actually, I can do it from here. We had... Last night, we had a couple of super fun spam bots in the live chat. That's a new thing. Yes, I was getting there. The other person that we have to thank for this adorable model moving... Oh, Vapor's having a moment, and she is Vapor, and we love her, and she drew it, and we know that. And Pim is the one that does all of the moving. So, like, the fact that my earrings move back and forth like this is like hours of Pim figuring out the mechanics of how to make them move. And I'm breathing, and the house hippo was a little squishy, and that's all Pim. And we, yes, group effort, art is all Vapor, correct. And I'm very grateful. Yeah, I am very grateful for my friends because this looks beautiful and I'm very happy. And it means that I don't have to show my face right now. Hey, Miller. Hope you're having a chill day today. Yeah. Do it, Ben. You guys are all awesome. So, anybody get up to anything interesting today while I load up our talking points for the first little bit? Today is Thursday. It is. The amount of times that I type Thursday, you'd think I would know that. You got new glasses. Excellent. We're on day 4 of the strike, and I am starting to feel it. Kiddo was starting to feel it, and I was gonna go live during the day today, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna put her through that. Where I'm like, you sit here and you shush and let mommy work. There'll be days where she can, but today was not one of those days. Yeah, we went outside and played, and she made crafts, and yeah, it was fun. It was a good day. Contemplated getting a haircut because I want cutesy bangs. Ooh. I'm one of those people that has very, very fine hair. So if I get bangs, it's like and I have a cowlick in the front. So they're either like split off to the side because the cowlick is so aggressive, or it's just greasy because they're so fine. Which is not ideal, but that's okay. But yeah. And then I just dove into research, which today was so fun. But we do have some... I did manage to find some very good news. I scoured through the Discord and through the various different places, and I did find some good news for us, so there'll be good news interspersed, and also just cute hippo is good news. Pumpkin spice beer. My hubby gets that every year. Doesn't like it. Alright. We're gonna say hello from the puppy. Kita, come here. Come here. What do you say? Oh, what do you say? Kita, come here. What do you say? Like, screw you, Mom, I have a ball in my mouth. Kita, can you speak? Can you speak? What do you say? Yeah, she just wants belly rubs. That's it. Only belly rubs for the puppy. Got bamboozled into buying black licorice words. Black licorice cream-filled croissants. Oh, that sounds so bad. Oof. Yuck. 10 out of 10 do not want. Oh, now you say hello. Hello. She's tired because she was in the backyard with Kiddo, and Kiddo will throw the ball for her. Over and over and over. Thought they were blueberry? Oh, that's worse than expecting a chocolate chip and getting raisins. You left it in the food chat. Ooh, I'll take a look at it after. Oof. That's a rough go. Were they not, like, labeled, Lucky? Or just, like, chilling out on the shelf? Place? Wherever you were? Do it. Always curious about delicious beverages. Just said cream filled on the label. Oh, I feel like that's like majorly false advertising. You still have them? Oh no. If you post a picture, I'll put it up. We'll start with that before we go into looking at some NDP platforms. Yeah, I'd be very scarred by that experience as well. Not so much fun. I do not like black licorice. Definitely not my favorite of the licorices. Yeah, it would take me a while to trust a croissant again after that. Yeah. There we go. Here is our pumpkin spice beer. That looks awesome, honestly. Stories are born outdoors, adventure is brewed within. Hey, H! How's it going, friend? That's very cool. What the hell? Yeah, that's valid. What the heck? Oh, lucky. Those look horrible. I don't know if you guys were ready for this. Oh dear. That just looks awful all round, friend. Yikes. You're folding some laundry? Nice. This is my least favorite. I thought it was chicken. Yeah, nothing about that looks appetizing. Yikes. Cat, these are Lucky's croissants that he had today. It is a science experiment. I try it. Your dad hates raisins because he was someone who took 2 and they have raisins instead of chocolate. Yep. Teacher made me both because he was supposed to only take 1. Oh, that is awesome. Yeah, but the green? The green is off-putting for sure. That's mold. Certainly looks moldy. Yikes. Yeah, I think if I could drink alcohol, I'd definitely do the pumpkin spice beer. As well. Yeah, I'll eat raisins and stuff. Like, I'm not super opposed to them, but there's one place where raisins don't belong, and that is in baking. Although, I'd love oatmeal raisin cookies. I will take raisins over nuts in baking. I believe that nuts in baking should never be allowed. That's my take. Can't do it. I can't. I bite into like a wonderful zucchini loaf only to be hit by an almond, or I bite into a banana loaf and get hit with walnuts. Oh, gross. Yeah, cinnamon raisin bread is very good. That is a good one. I will eat that. With chickpeas. Yikes. Peanut butter cream filled croissants dipped in chocolate. Yeah, I feel like that would be more acceptable than whatever biohazardous croissant you ate today. Gross. Oh, man. Alright, I could sit here and chat literally all night. Let's take a look at some super awesome fun stuff. We're gonna start by going through some of the newer candidates that we haven't gone through yet on the stream. Rob Ashton being one of them, who launched his campaign. He is president of the International Longshore and Warehouse Union, which honestly is a pretty big green flag when it comes to candidates. I love that he is from a union. I think that's a great place to be. And honestly, oh, do I have a good picture of it? I don't, do I? Ah, here. His mustache, excellent. Most excellent. Like, look at that. I love it. Anyway, let's listen to this one. Nope, this one. We'll listen to his little spiel. Hopefully the audio works today. Let me know. Oh, God. Hold on. I know it. Hold on. I'm going to turn the volume down before I subject you to that, because I don't have ears anymore. Alright, let's try that again.
I don't need to tell you what's wrong with Canada. If you're part of the working class, you already know. Hi, I'm Rob, and I'm a dock worker, and I'm running for leader of the NDP. Why? Because I'm done watching working people pick between liberals and conservatives, only to end up at the short end of the stick. I'm running because I want our party to get back to its roots.
Hey, Rascal
regular
Fantic.
working Canadians first. We built this party. We built this country. It's time we run it.
Some solid music. I love it. Rob.
I don't need.
Excellent messaging. I think he's pretty great.
Salut, je m'appelle Rob et je suis de Val d'Or. Au
Yeah.
lancement, je parlais juste en anglais. Je m'engage à mieux faire. Parce que le bilinguisme, c'est la base
He
du
is
leadership.
committed to learning French, which
Le
we love.
Canada est bilingue. Mon travail, c'est de l'être aussi. Parler les deux langues.
Yeah, I
C'est
think so too,
respecter
H.
toutes
Life of a dock worker. I love that. Again, the mustache is just so great, and I'm not a mustache kind of gal. Love it.
My name is Rob Ashton.
There we go.
I'm a dock worker from BC, and I'm running for leadership of the federal NDP. And this message is going out to all you teachers out there in Alberta. Fighting the good fight right now. Standing up against an employer that wants to hold you down and not give you what you deserve. You see, you all teach, and I don't have to tell you this, you all teach the minds of tomorrow. The minds of tomorrow that will be the innovators. It'll create industries
Yeah, I think
for
so.
Canadians. So yes, you deserve everything that you're demanding. You keep demanding it because they will hear you, because we are hearing you. We stand with you. So keep your heads up. Keep in the fight. And don't ever say give up. Take it to them, friends.
Yeah, I don't know. I like
Hi, my
him.
name is Rob Ashton. I'm a dock worker from BC, and I'm a leadership candidate for the leader of the NDP. Why am I smiling so much? Is because Leah Gazan and the federal NDP have just put forward a bill to remove Section 107 out of the Labour Code. This is freaking fantastic.
It is unique.
Big shout out to Don Davies, Alexander Bulleris, the rest of the NDP caucus, as well as the Canadian Labour Congress. This is absolutely fantastic news, because all Section 107 is in there for is for the government to rule on behalf of their corporate people, supporters, and give so much more power to the employing class than to the working class. So this is a great move by the NDP. It's going to give power back to the workers in this country. So thank you very much.
You know what I love? He uses very simple, straightforward words. You know, like he doesn't have all these big, huge, what's the word I'm looking for? Like he comes across as a guy that you would run into on the dock, right? He's the guy that you are working with on the job site, in construction, in all of those things. And I just think he's going to be a really great, he talks like a person. I will play you his election video, and then we'll take a look at a couple of the other candidates. Oh, sound would be good.
And who are you guys?
I'm Rob Ashton.
How are you, Rob?
I'm good. I'm the My day job
Yes.
is I'm the national president for the Longshoremen's Union in BC, dock workers.
Cool.
My side gig that I just announced is I'm running for leader of the NDP
Okay, nice.
to take the party back to where it belongs, back with the workers.
Good.
Workers, united, will never be defeated.
Let's give him a chant one time. Hands off! Hands off, Canada!
Post. Hands off, Canada Post.
All right, next, I want to introduce Rob Ashton, the president of the International Longshore and Warehouse Workers Union, who's here to bring you greetings of solidarity.
Thanks, bud. My name is Rob Ashton. I'm the national president of the International Longshore Warehouse Union Canada. And I bring to you today greetings on behalf of the 16,000 of our members in British Columbia, Alberta, and Saskatchewan. I know I'm a long way from home, but people ask me, well, what the hell's a longshoreman? We load the ships. We run the tugboats. And we do a lot of other things, but somebody will probably... Thank you.
I'm gonna chat into a mute mic. I also love that he announced this in the middle of a strike. Like, he doesn't have a fancy setup, he doesn't have all the people behind him, he's not in a big building they had to rent out. He's just a guy.
So look, I'm going to tell you a really quick story. And then we're going to do a really loud chant. And then I'm going to hand the mic over and run. Because I got to do an interview, apparently. In 1981, the CUPW went on strike for 42 days. You went on strike for 42 days because it was the right thing to do, because you were fighting for maternity leave.
Hell yeah.
So that proves that when the Postal Workers Union and unions across this country stand up and hit the bricks and say enough is enough to their employers, to governments that want to keep their feet on our necks and keep us down when we say enough is enough, that's when we make gains.
Also, like, he just looks like the friendly guy, but he's got some, like, bite. Yeah, if he becomes leader, it'll be so funny to see Carney and Polyev pull the I'm just like you. Yeah, totally different vibes, for sure.
The CUPW today, you're on strike. You're on strike. And you're on strike for good reasons, for right reasons. For a better wage so that you don't have to be worried about paying your mortgage or your rent and figuring out how to feed your families.
He's also just, like, in blue jeans, which is awesome. Whoop.
And now, because the liberal governments decided to stick their noses into your business, now you gotta fight to keep your goddamn job!
Woo! Oh, we got the fight.
And your national leadership and the rank and file members of the CUPW not only have the support of my union, but you have the support of every rank and file Canadian in this country, because they know when you win, the entire country will win.
He's got some lungs.
So repeat after me. I'm going to say when we fight, you're going to say we win. You ready? I don't need this.
I don't need this.
When we fight!
Oh, goodness.
When we fight! I want every single person here to take that anger that you have inside of you, the anger at your MP, the anger at Ottawa, and let them hit!
Woo!
When we fight!
He's got some serious lungs. That's some power behind that. Goodness gracious. Anyway, I have not seen any sort of, like, oh, he's got big Viking energy. I love it. Yeah, it's so good. Hey, Potato Mage. I do too. He hasn't put out a ton of stuff. Good morning, Siege. Good evening. But I just, yeah, he's louder without the mic. He was. And you know what? That like deep in your soul metal scream, that's the way that some people are feeling, right? And like, that's valid. The other thing, the only other thing that I found that he posted the other day that I love is, and we're going to talk about her next, is he posted about Tenille Johnson. And I just appreciate that. Right? At the end of the day, yeah, it's a fight. Yeah, it's a race. But the fact that we actually have some good candidates, hey, you 235, is such a great thing. I just, yeah, it's awesome. Hello. How are you, friend? How is life? All right, speaking of Tenille, we'll bring up her stuff next. You want to see someone who's just like, again, back from 12 hours at the uni. Oof. Hey, Wandering Forest. That's a long day at the uni. Goodness gracious. Alright. Tenille Johnson. Let's take a look at what she's got here. We'll take a look at her launch video in a minute. She is the first Indigenous woman to be running for a leader of a political party, I believe. Or at least the NDP. She's a First Nations counselor, 14 years of experience as a social worker, community programs and services, health authority. She's been the same as Rob Ashton. She's been in the weeds with the people. Diverse and affordable housing, equitable access to healthcare, protecting the environment, free and accessible post-secondary education, increasing childcare spaces, meaning and proportional electoral reform, which we love to see, better public transit, and increasing the representation and participation of of Indigenous persons in local, regional, provincial, and federal decision making. Which, again, like, yeah, please. Oh, that's so long still, U235. I remember when I was going to college, I had some days that were like that, where it's like, I have one class at like 9 and one at 3. There's not really any point in going home between. Yeah, it's long days. And you're doing coursework in between. Yeah, that makes for a really, really long day. Alright. This is...
Okay, welcome everyone. My name is...
Again, well, the same as the other ones, we will skip to Tenille herself. Because that's what we're here for. I get this. Hopefully the quality bumps up in a second here, y'all. And again, just in the middle of a park.
It's on. Thank you everybody, and welcome friends and relatives and those of
You were there?
online,
Cool.
the way down your platforms are on social media right now, and I'm sure it's a few. I wanted to offer my endless gratitude to Sandy for welcoming us here today. She's been a consistent and dedicated voice to health and wellness for our community. I also want to recognize Marina, who's hiding in the back. For standing with me today, Marina has been a pillar of strength and leadership for her nation, and is someone that leads with strength and kindness. And to the Deacon Lake Wise, for honoring me with the
The camera is solidly focused on these two people back here, unfortunately.
opportunity to come here and
Oh,
do this
trying to
today
fix it.
on Staying First Nations territory. So I'm Tenille Johnson. I'm very proud to be a leader of woman, as a registered social worker, and I'm a parent from Kalataw, which is colonially known as Canberra, BC. Like so many families across the country, I grew up in a working class home. My dad was an iron worker and my mom ran a small business. They taught me what perseverance looked like. That if you work hard and care for your family acted with integrity, you can build a good life. But today, too many Canadians are finding that that promise is a lie. We're living in a lifetime of change and uncertainty. The cost of living has soared well beyond reason. The dream of a secure future is getting more and more out of reach.
Again, very like humanistic, non-complicated, like this is the problem, and we're not going to add a bunch of big fancy words to it so that you don't really understand what the problem is. We're just going to tell you what the problem is.
Meanwhile, the wealthiest corporations continue to make record profits and dodge taxes. Instead of building more housing or funding our healthcare system, Ottawa continues to sign off on more projects that will only poison our land and water. From floods to wildfires, communities are going without electricity, food, water, shelter. These struggles may seem distant to some, but they're deeply connected to what we face. A crisis of inequality, greed, and corruption. They are symptoms of unequal systems ruled by capitalism. We live in a country where housing is unaffordable, our healthcare system is underfunded, and that's why I'm running to lead the New Democratic Party. Because I believe that the NDP is ready for a new era.
Yeah, Tamil!
Aww. I love that.
And a different kind of leadership. One deeply rooted in integrity, inclusion, and inspiration. I've spent over a decade on the front lines in community service, in healthcare, in advocacy, and social justice. And I'll continue to fight for free post-secondary education, for healthcare access for all of our rural and remote communities, affordable and accessible housing for every Canadian, and climate projects that defend and regenerate our environment. I know that change only
I
happens
love the
when we
one
lead with
supporter so
courage,
much.
hope, and optimism, and never forget who we're fighting for. This leadership race is about renewal. We can no longer afford to settle for watered-down promises or wait for Liberals to do the right thing. Progressive voters are looking for answers and action against the greed and corruption that's driving all of this inequality. New Democrats have always been the social conscience of our country. While Liberals break promises, Conservatives continue to cater to the wealthy. The NDP have always fought for the people. From the picket lines at Parliament, we've pushed Canada forward on healthcare, housing, climate, and social justice. The NDP is what makes Canada Canada.
Mhm.
And now, we must unite our movement
Yes.
for a future that works for all of us, and not just the wealthy few. Together, let's bring the NDP into a new era, one that's brave, progressive,
They're trying.
and impossible to ignore.
They're trying so hard to get the camera to focus on her. There's no luck whatsoever. We got some leftist electronics here.
My name's Tennille Johnston, and I'm running to lead this party, your party, with integrity, inclusion, and inspiration. Stand with me, join my team, and together, let's build a better future for every Canadian.
Yeah!
Before we get tagged for music. All right, let's take a look at some of her stuff that she's posted. Free post-secondary would be amazing. I agree. I agree. So you can nominate Tennille on her ballots, as well as donate at her website. Yeah, another decent candidate. I am excited to see more from her. There has been a little bit of stuff. I think I put these all on the wrong one. Yeah, that's okay. A little bit from Ave Lewis. Take a look here.
I'm here at the University of British Columbia here, where I used to teach, attending a rally to get the SkyTrain extended out to UBC, which has been promised for years. Federal government has to step up here. Parker, have this. Federal government has to step up and not just fund these capital projects like that would serve UBC. This is one of the busiest bus loops in the entire country. It's got to fund the operation of transit. Public transit should be free, it should be fast, it should be functional. You want a nation-building project for this country in this perilous economic moment? How about making transit a massive priority? I'm here at the University of British Columbia here.
Yeah. I like Ave Lewis. I think he's got some really strong ideas. There's something about Rob Ashton.
You have been good about putting out some policy. I want to ask you about your policy, and this is about grocery stores. You want to do a wealth tax. You want to do a cap on rent increases. People really like hearing that. Talk to me about your plan for grocers, this option that you want to put in place.
Listen, this is a fantastically popular policy that I think we can win with. Canadians want to see when you have market failure, like you have these big corporations that dominate every sector. It's the same with the food system, right? 3 big grocery chains, and we know that they price fix and price gouge. We need a public option.
You want a public grocery store for people to access.
The federal government has the capacity to, at the federal level, with federal money and a national reach, actually negotiate with the distributors of food and actually provide retail, maybe owned by municipalities, to actually provide nonprofit food to people, because people cannot get by when they're paying $300 for a cart of groceries. Just like when the market fails any industry, the government has to step in and actually provide an alternative that is not in the market mindset where everything has to make a big profit.
To some people, that will seem like a very socialist policy, getting back to where Canada is politically right now. Are people open to something that could be that far left on the political spectrum?
Ask young people what they think of socialism. Taking care of each other instead of this supposedly competitive system we have where actually big players just dominate everything and rip us off. We need a public option.
Love it. Love it, love it. So, if we go to Ave Lewis. Yeah, far left. So far left to take care of people. Someone said he put out his... Also, just a super random side note. He's got dark mode on his website, which I just super appreciate. And he's all over the place for the next little while, which I like. Yeah, so he doesn't have anything out officially, but... Yeah, exactly, Moose. If we want to actually go far left, we're not talking about public grocery stores. We're talking about very different things. Yeah, ask young people is a very important statement. I completely agree. I think quite often the... And he has dark mode, yeah. Yeah, Potato Mage. We'll get to Eves in a minute. There's some not so great stuff on that end, but one sec here. Found a podcast and I was like, I don't want to play the whole thing, but we can listen to maybe the first little bit. Post in the Discord a good example. Okay. I take a look. Oh, we just had a note from Steve. Worked at a new school today and he's booked for 4 more days. His subbing is picking up. Love it. Love it, love it. Dollarama stores sell bread unless there's a Sobeys. Yeah, the bread thing is. There's a Sobeys nearby. When I couldn't find it, I asked if they still carry bread. He said, we used to, but we don't anymore. We can't sell it because Sobeys owns the building. And we're not allowed to sell it. Hi, puppy. Okay, that's a very good example of why we need public option. So, the Examiner went bread shopping. At the Dollarama, Wonder Bread was $2.50, and this was $3. Yeah, no worries, Potato Mage. This is how I catch up too. I know that I haven't been around a lot the last week, so when I was looking through stuff today, I'm like, oh yeah, I got to talk about this. At Sobeys, $3.29. We're told Sobeys doesn't carry the Wonder Bread brand. And look at all of these different places where they aren't allowed to sell bread. When a Dollarama in Nova Scotia shares a property with Sobeys, it doesn't sell bread. Interesting. Thanks for sharing that. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. Thank you. Let's go back up here. So these Dollaramas, if there is, this is actually a better chart. If there is a Sobeys on the property, they don't sell bread because they're not allowed to because Sobeys owns the building. Yep. Interesting. Yeah. Sobeys is one of the chains. Is limited. No entities other than Loblaw Corporation have acknowledged wrongdoing in this matter, and no other entities have been charged by the Competition Bureau. So this is all allegedly. This is all alleged. Don't sue me. Alright, let's take a quick look at Heather McPherson. Yeah, they own a lot of stuff, U235.
Pretty special when you walk through a room of your family, your friends, people that you've known your whole life, and it was a pretty special moment for us. And yeah, the whole reason that I'm running for the New Democratic Party is that I do believe we need to build a bigger table and we need to bring people back to the party. I spoke about growing up with a big family. I spoke about how we used to take the doors off the hinges to make a bigger table for those big.
So one of the main things that Heather McPherson keeps pushing on is getting away from the left purity testing. It's something that she said in her initial speech, and it's something that quite a few people are struggling with when it comes to her.
Chaotic family dinners, the ones where the table would start in the kitchen and end up in the living room, but everybody had a seat at that table. And I think we have over the years seen members of the New Democratic movement that have had a bit of a purity test. And have
See, it's language that she uses quite often. Yeah, it's been happening a lot, and I'm reminded of that, and this is not comparing the NDP, but the saying, like, if you sit at a table with a Nazi and nobody gets up, you're at a table of 9 Nazis. Like, anyway, Leah Gazan is quite upset, rightfully so. When I hear a leadership candidate suggest that you have to pass a purity test to fit into the NDP, I am appalled and deeply disappointed. That framing is frequently used to dismiss calls for justice from marginalized communities, especially Black, Indigenous, racialized, 2S LGBTQ, disabled immigrant workers who now make up a major part of the labor movement and the working class. Yeah, I don't love it either. It centers comfort over justice. Hi, Real C. Whitfield. It protects the status quo. It erases the realities of a diverse workforce and delegitimizes leadership from radicalized and marginalized people. Racialized and marginalized people by framing their calls for justice as ideological purity instead of principled resistance. All good. Yeah, Moose, exactly. It's taking a stance on issues. I'm hoping so, Nero, but unfortunately, like, it's something she said more than once. She said it in her announcement speech thing, and she said it again here, and she said it in a couple other places. Again, Leah Gazan, words like woke, activist, and environmentalist once stood for something powerful. I love her so much. Caring about justice, standing up for people, protecting our planet, and fighting for workers' rights. Now, they've been twisted into insults. When conservatives sneer about woke activists or neoliberals dismiss calls for equity as purity tests, what they really mean is that the fight for true justice makes them uncomfortable. At the time of rising global authoritarianism, we must protect Canada's culture and legal diversity. Yeah. You know, I think people are very tired of the NDP sort of just going along with things. It'd be really nice to have a party that has principles. Like, look at her. She's just fabulous. I love her. Yeah. She is not going to run. Unfortunately, but she is definitely letting her voice be known, which is awesome. Yeah, absolutely, H. Totally agree. I think she's doing good things where she is right now, and fully support. Yeah, Ninja Cupcake, exactly. Like, there's certain issues that affect the population at large in Canada, and there's certain issues that affect certain groups of people, and both are equally as important. And to say that one is a purity test and one isn't is not my favorite stance. We're gonna talk about Eve's Angler. Yeah, isn't it so cute? Vapor made a whole new model. They even have earrings that swing. Yeah, I love it. It's disgusting. 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 Oh boy. Alright. I'm not really sure where to start here. I will be fully transparent. I don't love Angler from the beginning. And he's kind of just showing his true colors the further that this goes. Yeah, I agree, Moose. We were told that Carney was so different from Pierre Poilievre, and it turns out not really. Right? I think people are ready for an actual leftist. What's an Eve's Angler? Oh boy. Eve's Angler is a potential candidate for the NDP leadership. However, he has not yet received approval. Oh, I can't actually load the article. He was taking contributions. I'm not sure. Before receiving approval, which is against the leadership rules. Here, give me 2 seconds. Let's see if I can get this article actually open. Because it is a good one. The NDP says that Montreal-based activist is misleading party supporters and the media by running as an unsanctioned leadership campaign and soliciting donations from Canadians, allegedly. Herbert Daly said he had serious concerns about how Angler had been conveying the status of his campaign. He's been sharing with the media that he has not yet been approved by the leadership to stand as a leadership candidate, but they haven't received an application either as of the 6th. Hey, Aglilix. We have not been sharing the status Yeah, H. It's very close to that. Angler and others testing the water for a leadership run have been strongly advised to wait for official approval before accepting campaign contributions. Taking contributions before receiving approval was against the leadership race rules, which makes sense. He'd raised... Angler added he'd raised more than $80,000, which would put him on pace. And he has twice the signatures. But his thing is he has until January to turn in his nomination papers. And will do so at the time he considers most opportune. It's just a weird... Yeah, I don't know. He gets upset about weird things, and he was quite upset, let me tell you, about this. Go away. Since... Oh, you guys can't see this. Hold on. I am not going to say that, Ninja Cupcake, but I will say that as of that article, he has not submitted his nomination, which is something that he said himself. Since the moment Yves Angler announced his intention, a loud chorus of right-wing and Zionist forces have demanded that he expelled from the race. We are currently well before the application deadline. He's gone to great lengths to ensure compliance with all the rules in regular communication with legal counsel. These latest actions are part of a pattern of bias against Yves Angler's campaign that have included failing to supply the leadership package on time. Like, it's a whole bunch of, like, back and forth, like, we didn't get the papers, yeah, but we didn't get these papers thing. The CEO, which is the chief electoral officer of the party, remarks came immediately following the successful launch of Yves' platform, which makes sense. We don't expect everyone to agree with the policies we bring forward, but we do expect to be able to participate in the democratic process. And again, comments. Please name the NDP officials who are obstructing you. Like, it's all very vague and very, like, trust me, bro. I just don't love it. And he supposedly heard from many party activists who have been undemocratically barred from running. Now, we can talk about the $100,000 that needs to be raised and how that does bar people from running. But you can't just say, I'm gonna run. Now give me money. This also was very bizarre. This is his platform that he put out. And he put two quotes from two people who are not around anymore. Like, not around for a long time. And quoted them as being part of his platform. Apparently, and this is his excuse for it, apparently Tommy Douglas and J.S. Woodsworth are dead and didn't express support. Karl Marx's endorsement still stands, though. It's just, I don't know. I find him to be very... Like H said, like, I can't do this because I'm going to be silenced and everyone's trying to silence me, and it's like, can you show us where you're being silenced? And he can't. Policy. Alright, these are some of the things that he is standing for. Workers, small business owners, entire communities are being squeezed. Billionaire class, same sort of thing. As a first step, the ongoing nature of settler colonialism necessitates a significant return of land to the Indigenous and First Nations. The other thing I don't love, can we not take pictures of people in probably the worst times of their entire life? Can we just not do that? Like, You would think that would be like a basic human decency thing. Yeah. All those resisting imperialism will fight to expose the injustices. Okay. And it's this right here. The radical socialist and anti-colonial transformation will meet the needs of the many, not the few. So on one hand, we have words Heather McPherson, who is saying, oh, but we got to be careful. We've got to, you know, let everyone at the table and everyone have an opinion. And Eve Zangler is sort of on the other end of the spectrum, where he wants to stand up for every single thing, regardless of if it's actually the most effective way to get something done. Effective maybe isn't the right word. But there's every time that I see something come up about him, I'm just not super thrilled. But who knows? Maybe he'll surprise us all and things will be great and grand. But yeah, that is, I believe, yeah, that's all I have for the NDP. I'm going to take a quick break and refill my tea. And then we have a couple more stories to get through and some happy news. Hang in there, friends. Get up, stretch, and I'll be back in 5. Yeah. Alrighty. Yes, neuropunk nonsense. I think it's one thing to make statements about what you believe in when no one's there standing in front of you to challenge you. I think it'll be a lot easier to tell sort of where people stand when they're in the same room. All right. We are going to cover a not so nice story that's probably going to make a lot of us feel very upset. But that's not the right one. Hold, please.
Oh, biscuits.
Yeah. Security may be increased at Manitoba constituency office after fires and vandalism. Oh, where are the photos of the actual vandalism? Right here. This was a fire set in the office of... Oh, here. Nahanni Fontaine. And it's not the first time that people have done this. And they also had a fire... Oh, here. On Tuesday, the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. Yeah. Families Minister Nahanni Fontaine's constituency office was hit by fire. The blaze came just over a week after the office's windows were smashed. On the north end of the housing minister, Bernadette, has also been set on fire 4 times. Yeah. Awful. Fontaine said that the personal safety and that of her colleagues, the first 2 First Nations women cabinet ministers in Manitoba, are being considered carefully after several fires and acts of vandalism. We worked hard to be here. We continue to work hard for our responsibilities, for our departments, communities, relatives, and no amount of attacks will ever push us out of this. There was a Nahanni Must Go protest outside of the Manitoba Legislation Building. Because... Yeah, are you ready? Because she posted about Charlie Kirk. They set her office on fire. Progressive leader Obi Khan has called for her to be removed. Yeah, exactly. Called for her to be removed from cabinet. Police have not said whether they believe the fires are random or targeted, but I mean, Bob Canoe, straight up. The incidents are gender-based violence, Indigenous-specific racism. My constituency office protested all the time. Nobody lights a match. These are the first 2 Indigenous women to publicly serve our province. I think it's fair to say that these are intentional, which I appreciate. Yeah, they're going to revise the security. Yeah. There was a reasonable debate to be had over whether or not you'd agree with my decision to keep her in cabinet, because he basically told the Conservatives, like, that's not a reason to kick her out of cabinet. The second that crosses the line into threatening her life and the life of her staff, it's no longer reasonable. Can we just get, like, a huge round of applause for Bob Canoe? Like, finally, someone is saying something. Nobody even knew who Kirk was. Yeah, H, exactly. Fontaine said she and Smith are holding up okay, but they will have an enduring impact, which makes sense. And it's attack on democracy. The other lady that got her building set on fire is the Housing, Addictions, and Homelessness Minister. Political violence has grown since the pandemic, and something needs to be done about it. Oh man. This is the APTN news. This is from September. So this is the first time that her offices were attacked. She is the Minister of Families, Accessibility, and Gender Equity. She posted a photo text condemning assassinated right-wing Charlie Kirk. Post she shared was from someone who said he had no empathy for Kirk, who stood for nothing but hate. She was caught on mic speaking to an aide in front of reporters. Oh, right. She was the one that was talking about the sign language person should not being on stage, which is not a super great thing, but like your life being attacked, not okay. Yep, 100% Lucky. Like, on what level is somebody's post on social media equal to this? Yeah, MLAs are allotted $4,400 for security systems at their offices. Yeah. Yep, absolutely. H. Speaking of people who have been affected by speaking out against Charlie Kirk in some way, the University of Alberta fired a professor, or put her on leave, after Charlie Kirk social media posts. Florence Ashley, who uses they them pronouns, said they were reinstated 2 weeks ago. Hello, puppy. After being notified they were being placed on non-disciplinary leave. The university, of course, did not answer questions about whether it was reviewing the professor's posts. Ashley said they were not asked to participate in the review and worries the action was taken to suppress free speech. Ashley said that they posted on social media about how Kirk's death should not sanitize what they call his hateful legacy. Yeah, exactly, Moose. Very, very much agree. Ashley said the university told them that the posts were garnering too much attention, and so they were receiving threats. The University of Toronto said it put a religion and political science professor on leave. Ottawa police charged a man over threats to... Oh yeah, I shared this the last time I went live. There was somebody who made a threat to a local high school after one of the staff members posted about Charlie Kirk. A public at a principal school in Toronto said a teacher had been temporarily suspended. And the vigils. The vigils have been everywhere. One of our mods said that there was a vigil in his town, like last night. They're still happening. And again, I will say this. I do not believe that Charlie Kirk deserved to be gunned down. I don't believe that anybody deserves that. But I also don't think that looking at his words and his actions and saying that he was some kind of a saint that deserves to be placed on a pedestal. Yeah, the lefties are the wrong ones who keep doing violent things. Yeah, the vigils, there was one in my town too, and it was like, it was held, we have like a downtown area where there's like a circular, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, you know how the Colosseums used to be? It's kind of like that, but significantly smaller. And And they had a vigil there too, and just like sang a bunch of hymns, and I don't know, it's some more news covered this recently. Yeah, they did. Right. Yeah, we won't watch that on here. I definitely will get promenade, not quite a promenade. It's like a circular, and like the seats go up. Yeah. Super quick update on the amphitheater. Thank you. That is the word I was looking for. Yes. Super quick update on the super healthy, going super amazingly and fair for everybody teacher strike in Alberta. And then we have a happy story to close out for today. 'Cause we deserve it. All right. There we go. Also, we love Lisa here. Super awesome, wonderful dude. Dimitrios Nikolaidis said that he would maybe consider hiring more teachers, but he's not going to cap classroom sizes. If we need to hire 4,500 teachers, 4,000 teachers, if we need to hire 2,000 EAs instead of 1,000, we're very happy to have those conversations. That's not, hiring more teachers doesn't solve the problem. If there's no spaces for them to teach, if the buildings that they are teaching in are falling apart, if there is no support staff, and how are you going to get 4,500 teachers into the province after all of the teachers in the province go on strike? Like, they just think they can say, okay, teachers, come here, where we pay you really awfully and we spend the least on education per kid. Established student-teacher ratios is something the province is hesitant to agree to because he's seen research that indicating limits on classroom sizes have no impact on student academic achievement. Which just screams, I haven't been inside of a classroom in 30 some odd years. Yeah. 2002 they had a teacher strike, and they established average class sizes, and then in 2019 they stopped counting class sizes. Schilling said, which is the ATA president, presented a similar system earlier, which the province rejected. He also noted that Alberta would need to hire more than 5,000 teachers to reach what the report recommended in 2003. Tom works with the CBE student record system. Yeah, the infrastructure is falling apart. It's like the buildings are falling apart. The teachers, like the desks, are falling apart. So you're telling me if 30 kids are in a room and the school only has 25 desks, adding 5 more students to that isn't going to have an impact on the academic achievement? Hi, Sean. Welcome in. Jilling said that while the province can point to reports that say teacher effectiveness is more important than class sizes. Yeah, go for it, Badger. Schilling said he added teachers have seen firsthand that smaller classes make a difference. You know, because they work in the classrooms. In Ontario, a student's records aren't allowed to be digitized. Ugh. It's so complicated. We don't need a teacher's contract to hire people to work in schools. That, in fact, is their job. I have this. Oh, right. So just because the schools are closed, doesn't mean that there's no staff. Education assistants, administrative staff, lunchroom supervisors, IT, psychologists, all of those people are also currently not working. The CBE has provided a list of training for some of the support staff, which some of them are going to do, but which is good, you know. Continuing your education as a teacher or an education support worker is definitely a plus and something that you have to do. There's enough work to go around in the early going of this disruption, but are they going to have to lay all of those people off? Right? It's more than the teachers. They have time to do their deeper cleaning and catch up, like the ventilation systems. Yeah, it's just, blech. No thanks. I'm gonna play this. Hopefully CBC doesn't grab it. But this, I thought this was important. You guys can actually hear him talk for a minute. Once we get this, it's not very loud.
Third day, the government says it won't be spending any more money that it's already promised to resolve the ongoing conflict.
There in the 2.6 billion is what we have available, and again, we're happy to work within that bucket to provide teachers with an increase and help address some of the increasing complexity issues that we see in our classroom.
One of the biggest demands from teachers is addressing increased classroom complexity and sizes. Alberta's education minister says they want to address complexity. However, he says they won't pursue classroom size caps.
Of having 25 kids in a junior high school as a cap, well, that's just an arbitrary number. That, again, research has shown that doesn't have any kind of significant measurable impact on the student academic achievement. So I think class size does matter, which is why we have committed to hiring 3,000 teachers.
In a statement, the Alberta Teachers Association says it's incredibly concerned by the minister's suggestion that class size targets are arbitrary, while the Alberta NDP raises flags about the province putting these policy decisions on teachers' shoulders.
I cannot.
Oh, the rally in Edmonton. I don't know if any of you saw pictures of it, but it was huge. And beautiful and wonderful. This one. Like, images like that make me think that maybe there's some hope in Alberta somewhere. Oop. Oh, of course, the Globe and Mail. Anyway, it was huge. Saw somewhere there was 20,000 people. That might be more, but yeah. There we go. Look at that. In front of the Edmonton legislature. That is a beautiful sight. I love it. All right. This is a letter that the parents have received from just the MLA in Calgaryville. No, from the, never mind. This is the letter that parents received from Sir Nicolaitis. I know these past weeks have been challenging for families. With labor action, oh, that's loud. Sorry, hold on. Now resulting in closed schools, I want you to know that Alberta's government, oh, there we go. Sorry guys, I'm having issues with the sound again. They have a plan to ease some of the challenges you're facing and help kids keep learning. You know what the best way to have kids keep learning is? Don't lock the teachers out of the schools. So this is what they put out. I'm not going to show you this for obvious reasons. Alright, so this is the curated parent toolkit. And for each grade, they have 2 weeks worth of lesson plans. Grade 1 to grade 12. Yeah, exactly, Lucky. Teach your kids while trying to keep a roof over your heads and keep your jobs. Like, this is not helpful at all. There is financial support, of course. We talked about that last time. A non-taxable payment of $30 per kid per day, retroactive to October 6th. It's easy to apply. I think they are. I think they really do believe that, but I don't think that you can get 90% of the 50,000 someone teachers in Alberta to agree on something and then drop it after 2 weeks. Like, it's not happening. To ease the financial burden on families who require hours of childcare, they're going to increase October subsidy rates. So Aglelic's $30 per day per kid is over double what a teacher makes per day per kid. Over double. The average teacher makes between $13 and $14 per kid. Same kids that are home. Yeah, it was a Word document. Yep. And we'll also give you free admission to the museums. And here you can sign up to do homeschooling with an independent school. But they're not pushing private schools. Oh, it's so frustrating. I'm gonna play a little bit of Lisa because we love Lisa. And we need a little bit of fresh air, and then we'll talk about... Yeah. Ninja Cupcake, it literally said that you will not... Oh, sorry, sound. I'll fix that in a sec. It says here you can choose to enroll your student. However... Oh, it doesn't even say it, does it? Yeah, if you... No, I'll fix it. Sorry, guys. If you pull your kid out of a public school for a set amount of time and then the strike is over and you want to send them back, that's not how that works. They're just out for the rest of the school year. Sorry, let me give Lisa a voice and we'll start that over again. Sorry, y'all.
I don't know that when the rules surrounding the citizens' initiative process was changed to make it easier for people to put forward a question that could potentially go to referendum for all Albertans to vote on, that the UCP really thought it through in understanding that potentially these questions could be used against some of the things that they had put forward. But here we are. This teacher put forward a question, and the chief electoral officer approved that question. Should the government of Alberta end its current practice of allocating public funds to accredited independent private schools? I guarantee this chief electoral officer is not going to make it to the end of their contract. Now, there's a lot to unpack there. Comments have come up multiple times. Why is the Alberta government funding private schools? The answer is simple. Conservatives love privatization.
Accurate.
Now I know what you're going to say. Lisa, funding of private schools has gone on since 1958. And who do you think allowed that? Conservatives. I just want to make one thing clear, because I know this is going to be contentious. I have no problem if groups or organizations want to create a school to support whatever it is that they support. That should be your right to do so. Do I think the government should fund it 70%? The most in the whole country of funding private schools? No, I don't. And I'm going to tell you why. Especially.
Did you hear that? They fund 70% of the private schools in Alberta. 70.
Especially in light that Alberta funds the least in all of Canada for public education. The least! But here's why. So in response to this petition, which was just approved, there's nothing to sign as of yet, but in response, the chairperson from the Association of Independent Schools and Colleges of Alberta made a...
Also, can we go give Lisa a follow? You guys can do that. If you want to see more stuff about Alberta, and she's so smart and she's so witty, and she has a way with words that I could never, and I love her. I think she's so awesome.
Plea that this is just really pitting people against each other. School against school, teachers against teachers. So I looked at them. ASCA works to provide support to independent schools, ECS operators, and associate member schools with alternative programs in 3 key areas. Advocating for school choice and parental rights in education.
What does that sound like?
Now, in the political climate in Alberta, the term parental rights is a little spooky. And then they talk about how often they meet with the education minister.
She is also on YouTube. I will post her YouTube link as well.
They seem to have a lot of input in terms of what happens.
I'm not on TikTok either.
I tried to click this link down here and it didn't take me anywhere. We work to equip member schools to successfully engage in political advocacy. Spooky. Then they have a whole bunch of FAQs. Why not just send children to public school? Blah, blah. Other parents react to permissive values or what they perceive as a lack of discipline in school. Spooky.
Yeah, we have had a huge problem with parent rights in schools in Alberta.
A lot of these FAQs just really move to validate the purpose of having private schools. This was an interesting one. Should not schools avoid teaching about faith and religion? Catholic schools have existed for a really long time. They teach about faith and religion. But apparently, which is a weird way to start your answer, various faith groups operate 60% of Alberta's independent schools. Now I looked, there's a variety of different types of schools. Certainly there's a lot of Christian schools and some other schools that fit a niche. I'm not trying to minimize the need, it's a niche. And I have no problem if you want to have a Christian school that promotes Christian ideology, whatever that means. But with a lot of these independent schools comes independent ways of doing things. They get to decide who attends their school.
Hi, Badger Queen. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate you. All good.
Yes, they have to follow the curriculum, but we all know how well that's going in Alberta. But the school holds a lot of authority. They could be run by a board, and if you have issues with the public and Catholic school boards, imagine all the little baby boards for all these independent schools. Anyway, the question is, should these private schools be funded up to 70%, the most in the whole country, which averages about $500 million? The other 30% could come from tuition, fundraisers. They do get grants.
Also churches.
From the government. And the head guy at ASCA, as well as in the frequently asked questions, made it very clear that it's not just Richie Riches that are sending their kids to private school. And again, there's a lot of different types of schools. But let me focus on a Christian school. So if a church or an organization decides...
Yeah, speaking of teachers, my sister is a teacher in Australia where where education is treated like a need. Yep, they can apply for grants. Churches can raise money and fund them.
That it needs to have a Christian school. Why shouldn't they pay for that themselves? Churches don't get taxed, right? But the other concern is that the
Let's just go back and listen to that again.
as well as in the frequently asked questions, made it very clear that it's not just Richie Riches that are sending their kids to private school. And again, there's a lot of different types of schools. But let me focus on a Christian school. So if a church or an organization decides that it needs to have a Christian school, why shouldn't they pay for that themselves? Churches don't get taxed, right? But the other concern is that the Alberta government is now going to help these independent private schools with infrastructure.
Yay, because they need more help.
I think the problem is that for a lot of people, it's hard to understand why. When they send their kids to public school and they're jam-packed in a classroom, and now with the teacher strike, that regardless of the billions that the UCP are saying they're spending, it's still not enough.
Right, Pim?
It's still the least in the whole country. But you're plucking a little bit from that and you're throwing it to people that kind of get to run their school however they want. Yep. That's the concern. Now, a fair point is, could all these students that are going to private schools be shoved into the public system? No, they couldn't. There's nowhere for them to go because Alberta funds public education the least in the country.
Yeah, so Panicky Panda lives in Australia, and their school year is run from January until December. I think it's 10 weeks on, 2 weeks off. 10 weeks on, 2 weeks off, and then they get 6 weeks at Christmas. And that's the way that their semesters are divided up, because their summer is Christmas. Oh, the dog is farting, and it is gross. And there is significantly less burnout there, shockingly.
And yes, independent private schools have been around for a long time in Alberta. Maybe if public education had been funded properly from the get-go in Alberta, people may not have an issue with private schools getting some cash. 70%. But in true conservative form, a huge lack of attention has been paid to public education.
Yeah, I love that idea of a schedule as someone that worked in schools for a long time. Because, like, lucky. They get cooler scooters, yeah. When you hit January in the schools and the kids come back from Christmas break, the first week back is a little bit of that excitement that happens in September. And then it is a long haul till June. There's a reason they put in reading break. And that's a thing now that we get in Alberta. We get a week off in February. The same as the universities. But yeah, and then to have, what is it? Is it 8 or 9 weeks off in the summer? Like, I don't know. I like the Australia model better.
And so break the system to privatize the system. I know this whole thing is going to be played off by the government as pitting public against private. But I think the government needs to remember they are the ones who have chosen to pit public against private.
Yeah, September to Christmas is rough, and January to March break is rough. Because, yeah, once the kids are like, oh, we're back in school now, and now we have to be in school where it's dark when we go to school. And it's dark very shortly after we get out of school. And it's just not great. Not great for anybody.
And Dimitrios Nicolaides can stand there and say, Alberta's looking at a deficit. We can move the money around, but you're not getting more. Alberta is always coincidentally in a deficit when bargaining is happening. Maybe if you didn't put all your money in oil. Maybe if you didn't spend $80 million on Tylenol. I know we keep bringing that up.
Oh, I love her.
That hasn't been dealt with either. Grow up, care. So I completely understand where this citizens' initiative question has come from. Because when it feels like one group is being valued more than another, it makes people look around for answers as to why. And I mean, based on where Danny's been, their views on parental rights, it also makes me question private schools. Not all of them, but a large chunk of them. 60% or so. Anyway, I'm sure there's going to be more information, the where and when, if you want to sign this citizens' initiative.
Yes. Hey, it's a Faya. Hello,
I would have gone with
friend.
you to the end. Fire's immortal.
The song makes me happy every time. How was your stream, Vea? We are very near the end of ours here. You arrived just in time for our happy story for the day. Hello, Vea. Vea! I hope your stream was lovely. Hello. Thanks for reading it every night and like making it possible for that song to play, because there's something about that song that just like lifts my soul immediately. And I just love it. Give Fea a follow.
Did we just become best friends?
Hey, it's Elemental. Thank you, friend. You should now have a new colored teacup. The first month was kind of a pinky red color. Your second month will be an orange teacup. Quite excited about it. Here is our happy news story for today. British Columbia private members bill that would have given parents the right to sue doctors up to 25 years after they provided care. You did. You missed the bad news and you're here for the good news, so that's awesome. That has been voted down in the legislature before making it to the very first reading. Didn't even make it there. A summary of the bill provided by the One BC party said it would have stopped doctors from providing puberty blockers to minors, prevented the use of wrong pronouns in schools, and banned the use of public funds for gender transitions. And a course of action for 25 years after? It was defeated 48-40 before it reached the first reading, a rare occurrence for a proposed legislation. Armstrong told the legislature that BC was sleepwalking through the greatest medical scandal in modern history. Yeah, exactly, Badger. And saying that the bill would restore sanity, because that's a great way to address children who are going through gender dysphoria. Let's just call it insanity. Just wildly inappropriate. Conservative leader John Roustad, who voted in favor, because of course he did, that they have been voting to protect women and girls because the trans agenda is against women and girls, obviously. Sarcasm. They are not. During question period, Attorney General Nikki Sharman apologized to children and families who support them and who might be listening to what was going on in the legislature. You're a menace, Badger. The best kind. Yes, exactly, Panicky Panda. Homosexuality was, yep, a form of insanity. All of it is. Those are words that have been used for decades. I have to say this is another sad day in BC when conservative politicians are trying to dictate what parents should be doing and decisions they should be making with love and support for their children. If you are a kid and you are going through this process and you have a parent who is fighting for you to get the medication, the what's the word, y'all? My brain is tired. Needed care, health care, thank you. And the parents are fighting for their children to get the proper, HRT, to get proper health care. And the conservatives are like, no. What these parents are going to want to do is 25 years down the road, they're going to want to sue the doctor. It doesn't make sense. Let me be clear. Health decisions, individual health decisions, are a protected right of parents to make with their doctor, not by governments and not by politicians. Brody. It's Brody. I missed that. Yeah, exactly, Panda. Brody was kicked out of caucus over comments she made about residential schools, and Armstrong followed not long after, saying Rustad had abandoned his moral compass in a quest for power. So these are just like... yeah, just horrible. Anyway. A win. And you're wandering uteri. So funny story. That is a thing. Yeah, exactly. Neuropunk nonsense. The wandering uteri, that is gonna be an image in my head for the rest of the night. Thank you for that. I love it. But yeah, there's our happy story for today. There's our positive story. Sometimes we need those, especially in the current political climate. I had a bunch of stuff to talk about Carney, but I think I listened to a band called Wandering Uteri. But I think everyone has watched the Carney-Trump conversation, and I just, outside of yeah, exactly. Outside of watching like them fight back and forth in QP about it, like it's a bunch of political pandering. Yeah, exactly, Ninja. Yeah. Exactly. No, nobody wants to listen to Trump. Nobody wants to listen to Polyev tonight. We ended on a happy story. Let's leave it on our happy story. Shall we? Yeah. Nope, just watching the Blue Jays. Love it. Love it, love it. Yeah. That is our political stream for this week. I so super appreciate your guys' patience on getting these up and out this week. Likely what will happen next week is I will aim for 2 politics streams, but they will have to be in the evenings. I'll try to do a little earlier than 7. I know 9 o'clock on the East Coast is really late. But yeah, just a mom doing her best and supporting her kids' needs. Kiddo needed to not be inside the house today, so that's what we did. We had a lovely day. And now we're planning her birthday because suddenly I have a child in grade 1. I just... ugh. Gotta do the bedtimes, yeah. Well, I have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful partner who for 2.5 years worked nights, so he didn't get to do the bedtime routine at all. So he has taken on bedtime every night, and I love it. I really do. 2 of them are like 2 peas in a pod. Hi, Wandering Forest. It's so cute. Oh my goodness. She has ADHD, and so does he. And I always say that, like, I love my daughter unconditionally, and I will support her and her needs and all of those things. But there will always be a part of her that I will never fully understand. That her dad does. And it's that little bit of their brains work the same way. I'm hecking neurodivergent in other ways, but the 2 of them have the same sort of brain. And when they get together, it's loud and obnoxious and giggly, and it's just awesome. Yeah, I did bedtime on my own for 2 years. And, yeah, exactly. A fellow brain zoomies haver. That's exactly what it is. Your partner and your oldest also have ADHD. Yeah. Get the brain bounces. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Neuropunk. That's kind of me. Like, the two of them are, like, in the living room, like, wrestling and throwing things and jumping at each other, and I'm like, I do not understand. It is so loud. But they both need it, and they both love it. And she desperately needs that much. I hit, like, 5 o'clock, and I'm like, I want to mellow, I want to cook dinner, and I want to, like, chill. Yeah, no. Neither of them are like that. And it's just, I'm so grateful that they're both sort of the same. I love the brain bounces. I love that. Brain zoomies. Yeah. And growing up in the culture that I did, it's not super common for men to participate at all in children's lives. So every time that we go to, like, my grandparents' house, they are like, oh, Puppy is such a wonderful father. And I'm like, he's just a dad doing what he's supposed to as the other person who made the child. Yes, Faya, that's exactly what it is. She needs that little bit of, like, running around. Yeah, you have ADHD, your brain. What's chill and loud at the same time? Brains are fun, aren't they? Yeah, exactly. Like, her and I, we've got lots of things that we connect on, and she is my NICU baby, and there was a C-section, so our bonding took a really long time, and, like, she is my favorite human in the world. She genuinely is. I love her. I adore her. And I just appreciate that the part of her brain that I'm like, I understand why you need it. No, let me say it this way. I understand that she needs it, but I don't get all of the whys all the time. And I get overstimulated really easily. So it's just nice that the two of them have each other. And the dog, the three of them, while I was setting up and doing the first half an hour or so of the stream, they were all in the backyard running around and throwing the ball and just getting all the puppy zoomies and the kid zoomies and the dad zoomies all out at the same time. But yeah, I love it. Anyway, it is 9 o'clock, and speaking of winding down for the evening, I need to do some of that. I am going to be gone. Yeah, exactly, Ninja. I'm going to be gone tomorrow until Sunday. If you are wanting to come and hang out with some of the community, there is a channel in the Discord called Content Creation. And you can find some of the other mods that are going to stream this weekend. There's some members of the community that are streaming. And we're just sort of trying to encourage a general, like, hey, we're a group of like-minded people, and sometimes we get together in the evenings and we play games and talk about socialism. And these politics lives are not stopping. I know it's been a while, but this is my personal passion, and I want to keep doing them. I just gotta do the mom thing first. Anyways, I'm gone. I wander off on a tangent all the time. I am gone Friday to Sunday. I'm hoping it's not Minecraft, it's Our Craft. I love that. Sunday evening, I'm hoping to finish up Amnesia for Moose named Jaban. And then 2 evenings next week, I will do a politics stream. If you are in the Discord and you want to be notified when I'm going live, make sure you check out the role picker page, because I had some people say that all of the @everyone's were getting annoying, so I set up a role. It's like, I hear ya, especially the way that I had it set up when my stream was crashing. everyone was getting like 3-4 notifications. So I set up a role, makes it a little bit easier. Who should we raid out to tonight? Oh, the Surfs are live. Sniper Panda. Let's go say hi to Sniper Panda. Let's go say hi to our friend. Give Gavin some love. He is one of the hardest working mods in the world from before I took everything over, and also now. He's been so supportive and great. I super appreciate him as a human being. Make sure I get his username correct. It's not what I want. The before times. Yeah, the before times. Exactly. Alright. Oh, Neuropunk is already in there. Perfect. Alright, y'all. Go say hello to Gavin. Thank you for coming tonight. And I will see you all on Sunday evening. Love you. Good night.